has happened. Marby, do you mind if I ruin the broadcast temporarily?
Oh boy.
We haven't had a pause yet.
Knock on wood.
if we get a pause in the next 10 seconds, right? I feel like the entire VCS fandom is going to come flying over to England to murder me.
Oh, I'll bloody swim, mate. And I'm in Australia.
How many miles of swimming would this take? Like, would he stop off any land masses on the way and then walk and then swim again? Or are you just swimming all the way until you get to England?
I don't even know which way is shorter, but either way, there's going to be a continent in the way. Just a matter of if it's Africa or
You swim around the continent.
Yes, everyone knows you swim around the Cape of Good Hope. That nothing ever happens to waterborne vessels there. Anyway, on to this nonsense. It's going to be a bit of fun trading back and forth. Zarya and Lulu should have the upper hand, and interested to see where these junglers go. Both starting on blue side, so we might see some attention paid towards the top lane by Skewed, unless he wants to go for a bit of a cheeky play down into the enemy red side jungle and try and bully Fook early.
And actually, Yulway has made a very good point, which is, you know what, I'm going to flame Yulway a bit, which is very unlike him. No, it's very much like Yulway. Because I remember last week when we had a Sejuani, we were talking about how there weren't any melee champions to pair with the Sejuani with that Sejuani passive. But here in this game, yes, it is a short-range composition for Team Flash, but that does work well to pair with Fook 1 Sejuani.
Oh yeah, I agree. I like the double melees with the Sejuani on principle. I like them less when it's paired with the Lucian Nami, even though Lucian Nami is not strictly a short range bot lane because of how much absurd damage the culling ends up doing. It means in sort of team fight situations, once that culling is gone, you have to use that culling extremely well to get the full effectiveness. But beyond that, yeah, it makes the Sejuani very, very powerful in the early game. She can access these solo lanes and try and get things rolling very, very happily.
Again, not expecting to see too much aggression. Once again, Fook, when it's hovering around this bottom side, there is a ward in the river, just like there was in the previous game. And I do wonder if, like Game 1, we're going to be seeing both of our junglers consistently towards this bottom side of the map.
So just currently Fook 1 at the moment, just heading down there, keeping the pressure down. And as the levels come in, this lane will be switching back into the presence of the Lucian Nami, but now Yoshino is pushed up. This is a very easy gank opportunity.
And here comes the Skewed. Yoshino is going to double slide his way out to safety. Still has his flash available as well. And Hero doesn't have too much mana, so even if Skewed isn't here, Yoshino can more than likely hold his own, if not even win trades.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna be able to pick him up. Yoshino is more than happy. Hero once again just saying, I am only playing tank Gragas, which is not the way you should be playing Gragas in my opinion, especially when you get to beat just a bruiser with the existence of Roa these days, as Skewed will win the smite fight. No, he actually
flash,
won't, but
permafrosted, and will fall. First blood secured by Fook 1, who also gets the Scuttle Crab, so it is 2 out of 2 for the Sejuani in Game 2.
Yeah, no, misread the smite. It was Fook that gets it, and it's Fook that picks up the kill. Oh my goodness, it's a disaster for Skewed out the way, and Fook is happy just to run the show. And with that, it's a small lead. We're gonna have to see it transfer into the lanes itself, but Skewed just sort of gets panicked here and tries to flash away, but does not have the Q cooldown until ever, and he just can't get through to the wall.
As soon as he used that flash, I just thought, is he actually going to have enough time to charge a Q to get over the Baron Pit wall, as we're seeing Yoshino getting his wave ready to crash under Hero's Tower. He's just building up a nice freeze.
Hello, Sora.
Prison, well flashed by Artifact. Really good roam from Sora on this Nami, you know, making that, what do they call it? The Great Salmon Run from, like, south? I don't know.
Yeah, I get your reference. Can't
Thank you.
elaborate on it, but because I also have a very, very approximate knowledge of such things.
I'm like, here's this cool reference. I don't really know how to use it fully, but I'm just gonna throw it in there and hope people get the general gist of it.
No, my knowledge of marine life is I know a decent amount about the beaver trade in
The beaver trade.
Yeah, it's not relevant. But
is there like
that's
financial beaver trades going on? They got a whole Wall Street up there.
I did no. It's not around any. It's a fair trade in the 1800s, 1600s,
okay.
that sort of thing.
Meanwhile, there's a Drake trade going on as the Team Flash get the first Drake of the game.
Yeah, they can turn that into something, some kind of hat. That's what you do with dragon skins. I don't know.
I feel like dragon skins
maybe some boots,
more for
considering
like
they walk faster.
Yeah, exactly. You use dragon skin for boots. You use it for like leather armor because it's like really tough but still like flexible and durable, like polyester or something.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. If anyone's wondering, I did just compare dragon hide to polyester.
Can't wait for that to be included in the next Elder Scrolls game, the polyester set. Anyway, Fuchs Hunton, he's got his level 6, so he can make big impact plays now with that Glacial Prison, and he is lurking in the bot side, just waiting for Eddie to step too far forward, and that's it. Gets Flash.
Xu Hao now without a Flash. Just looking across the map to see other flashes, we did see Artifact's Flash being burnt in the mid lane, so I would like to see some aggression towards there, and maybe a kill also going towards Jane on this Akali. And we didn't really have much time to mention this in the drafting phase, but I'm really excited to see Jane's Akali, right? We've seen Jane on the end, we've seen them on some of the more safer mid lane options, and now this is a really skill expressive champion for Jane to essentially prove themselves here on the VCS stage.
Oh yeah, absolutely can make his mark. He's been stuck in Academy in VCSB for a while now. This is his finally getting a starting spot after being stuck behind Artemis for so long. He's played a couple of games, but never had that starting spot. So he's played fairly well on these majors, and he's just looking to explode onto the scene now with this Akali. I'm interested to see how he can pull it off. He's played the Renekton, which is probably the most equivalent to thus far the split, and Putin is all alone.
Has a Flash available, Weaver's wall coming in, flashes away, Seismic Shove will not land, and Pudding will survive. Skewed though, almost doesn't.
Nothing's working for Team Secret. They're trying so hard. Absolute hero player though from Puddin, and even Sora flashing to get the heal and the
oh wow.
Committing everything to save his AD carry, and you know it works. So it's all going well. In the meantime, the top side just continues to fall further and further behind as Fuchs just keeps on farming. The benefits to sort of AFK farming haven't come in just yet, but it's not looking great for Skewed, being 30 CS down, and with that first blood as well. That's going to be a very fed Sejuani. Might even should have that mythic, or whichever option he chooses, because he might just be ending up going for that Warmog's Rush.
To go back to that bottom play, considering that Sora used both summoners, I think it's a worthwhile roam that we saw from Team Secret. Yes, they did invest a couple of ultimates, but they got 3 summoners out of it, and that's going to make Sora and Pudding very susceptible to a future gank in the next few minutes.
Yeah, it gives the option for that repeat play, but I guess that's partially why Fig1 is now just sort of lurking on this bot side of the map while he can he's got camps to clear, and also he wants to be able to respond in time if necessary. Jane has not been able to be unlocked, and that's somewhat to be expected in the matchup, but just want to see Jane really come to life when the team fights eventually happen. In a minute or so, that should be the case. Right now, it's a little bit of advantage for Team Flash in the Vision setup, as they have control over the bot lane entrance and that Scuttle Crab, but still time for Secret to take control.
And let's not forget as well, it is a nice CS lead for Jane to have in this matchup, playing against Atelier, where I feel it should be Artifact who has the CS lead, who has control of the lane. So the fact that Jane is getting this lead is rather impressive.
Yeah. I think they've been fairly even for a lot of the time. I think a couple of visits from Sora and pressure from the Sejuani have let Jane farm well. And a small lead, perhaps coming out from that investment into the bot side from Artifact, but very even. And that's what you want to see. Fook may have overstood.
Goes over the wall, flashes away. Will he be able to stay alive? Surely not. Will fall. Eddie forced to flash over the wall. Pudding cannot follow. As we see Skewed also flashing the wall and out to safety. Team Secret will get the kill, but they burn a lot of summoners in the process. And with a Drake spawning as well, maybe Team Flash will be able to pick up their second Drake of the game.
Drake is spawning. Skewed is fairly healthy though. And with the teleport from Artifact, I can see Team Secret being able to pick that up potentially, but no, they've put enough pressure onto the bot lane to force a response from the Vi, and from there, just not going to mount much, and Fook should be back on the map after to make up for this little blunder, as the collapse is just so much faster from Artifact that he's able to pop off on people, and they almost pop Eddie, but it couldn't quite get it. You can't follow over without the flash, and doing so would have been probably a death sentence anyway. Now, can Jen get close enough to actually pick up any gold? No, so it's really just one big Fed Sejuani coming in for the side of Flash, getting that first blood, getting those turret plates from the Rift Herald.
One big piece of bacon then for Team Secret to slowly grill over a barbecue, as the Drake has now been started up. Both top laners have a teleport available. Jane going to be able to get towards the river before Artifact, who doesn't have a Weaver's Wall at their disposal. Team Flash are on the Drake, but it is Skewed who wants to work their way in. Last game, it was Fook1 stealing the Drake way in this position. But here in game 2, Team Secret are just going to yield and allow Flash to secure their 6th Drake of this series.
Yeah, it's just Drake 2. It's not worth really committing to a fight you're not comfortable with. And they didn't really have great positioning. The Flashes are now up from the side of the Flash bot lane. And okay, hello Jane. Welcome to the party.
Oh, did he just solo kill Artifact?
Just solo killed Artifact. We didn't see it, but he did it. We'll hopefully get a replay of that.
That's a feat and a half against, in my opinion, 2022 Summers MVP, split MVP. At the very least, mid lane MVP.
And we're just gonna have a look at this, and yep, just lands everything. And when that E is down, was sort of used earlier, gave the angle for Jane to just capitalize on the lack of defensive tools Artifact has from that point on. Just nice and clean. Picks up a rocket belt for himself, so he can just do that again later, possibly.
Team Flash, though, now have a little bit of an extra lead through this mid lane, courtesy of Jane, and Team Flash are looking for another Rift Herald, and Jane will be hoping that they are actually in range of the tower when it forced to get some of that extra gold. Hextech Protobelt picked up for Jane, along with the sorcery shoes. And this Akali is going to start to be pumping out a little bit of damage onto some of the squishier members of Team Secret.
And still just struggling. We see lots of these Team Secret players struggling to put items together. Hero has that first ultimate as just a bit of a scuff. Missed that. So Hero has his Sunfire, but yeah, that mid jungle just trying desperately to put things together. Skewed is just so far behind, and Artifact's just indecisive about what he's actually trying to build. He wants components of his Seraphs, he wants components of that Leandries, but just that means he's not getting either.
I'm also wondering if can that build into Everfrost?
I mean, the Kindle Gem and the
Lost Chapter
can. I don't believe the Fiendish Codex is involved in it, so he might be going for Everfrost or a Crown of the Shattered Queen, but seems strange. Seems like it's still just strange to pick up this ragtag bunch of CDR bargain basement. It's like he's building a Vladimir. This is a classic Vladimir build, actually, minus the Lost Chapter because mana. But yeah.
It's how I feel when I play like Orianna and Kassadin. I want a tier, I want to get my Lost Chapter. I also want to get a Dark Seal, start stacking that up as well. I, of course, need to have my stopwatch, and then you realize your inventory is completely full. Leandries, though, is completed for Artifact, so you were right on the money there.
Okay, there we go. That makes a lot of sense with this health stacking Sejuani just going full on into the Warmogs. I'm not a huge fan of it if you're in a composition like, or against a composition like this, where it's not the most poke in the world. You don't need that regen available. I think you're much more effective but just building actual resistances and going full hog and trying to crash into people with the Radiant Virtue or even a Jack Shot. But in the end, it's his choice. And yeah, the Warmogs will be working out just fine for him at this stage.
2 kills to 1 and a 4k goal lead for the side of Team Flash. I do just want to wind back the clocks to something we were talking about at the end of Picks and Bans, which is Team Flash, their composition is incredibly short range. If we do get to the late stages of the game, Team Secret have a huge range advantage that they can flex over Team Flash. And we did say one of the ways for Team Flash to win was if they can just get a big early lead and just snowball it out of control. Do you think this lead is big enough for Team Flash? And do you think Team Secret could safely make it to a point where they can outscale Flash?
It's 4K at 18 minutes. That's pretty damn big. It's up to Team Secret to sort of stem the bleeding, but with an Ocean Soul, if you can get a good Ocean Soul on top of Yoshino and Fook 1, you have a frontline that becomes insanely difficult to get rid of. And I mean, Yoshino, we haven't really talked about him much because top lane's been absent from the game. He's just quietly built up a 20 CS lead. He's quietly knocked down a few plates, and now he's picking up a turret for free. His hero has grouped up with the rest of his team to just try and stop the stacking.
Yoshino has a teleport available, and on this Renekton, if he can find a flank, it's big. He's going to teleport to give Jane some assistance, and in comes the cease and desist. Yoshino, though, zoning the rest of Team Secret away as Fook 1 shows up as well. Sora slowly making their way over. This is a 5v4 because in the mid lane, Pudding is still pushing, and Team Flash are slowly making their way towards said mid lane and towards the safety of their ADC as Jane forced to flash over the wall as Team Secret will pick up their blue buff. Hero going over the wall will find some CC onto Fook 1, and all of Team Secret just waiting in the Wolf Pit. Flash back on the retreat, and both sides just jinking around, just trying to find a bit of damage, finding an angle to engage, but no full engage comes through yet.
Could be dangerous for Flash. They've blown a lot of their major ultimates. They have a decent gold lead, but there's still so much more in this exact moment for Team Secret to work with.
No Glacial Prison, no dominance available for the top and jungle, and in comes the engage. Hero going onto the backline. Tidal Wave comes through. Eddie uses the ultimate and is still untouched.
Whoa!
And Eddie is just on the run. Zhuhao with no health left whatsoever. And Eddie is now in a 1v5. Will sensibly back away. Team Flash will get 2 kills, and Team Flash will get their 3rd Drake of the game.
Never mind. Yoshino doesn't need a Dominus. He has a Gold Drinker and an Empowered Q. That's basically the same. He just dives straight in there. And this looks fairly good from at the start by Team Secret. They catch out the hero, at least catches out the bot lane and puts them into an uncomfortable position. but it's just sort of separated. The bot lane flashes out, and that tidal wave right in the corridor just gives the access for Yoshino to just go from half health to full in one move. Fook surviving by the hair on his chin, and that's all fine. They got 2 for nothing, and can happily just picked up the dragon afterwards. Now
I also want to mention as well, while Yoshino did a lot of damage, I think Jane landed the perfect execution, the second phase of it, onto about 3 or 4 members clustered up. So did a large portion of that AoE damage. So Jane coming out really big in that fight. You have to be careful not to get caught by an Aqua Prison, and Team Flash just continuing
there it is.
In their lead. Yeah.
There it is. You see how much damage that was dealt by the side of Team Secret, but it didn't matter because it was all called that.
Glacial Prison doesn't land. Skewed is so incredibly low, and he's going to die before the rest of the team even arrives. Team Secret are down to 4 and forced to back away. Team Secret now without their jungler, and there is a Baron for the taking.
It's a Baron. It might be a little bit too early. They don't have. They might not have the damage to stand, especially when standing up against a rain of barrels, ultra shock lasers, and these rocks coming out from artifacts.
Look at Yoshino.
Starting it up. He's lurking. They just want to start another fight.
Just gonna go straight on to Zhu Hao. Fook 1 is low. Surely Fook 1 will die, and he just doesn't have enough damage. Hero will end up falling. Team Flash get the 1 kill. Jane exhausted, trying to sidestep the ultra shock laser. But again, Eddie just is not strong enough. You can see Team Secret are doing the right things. It feels like the fights are right for them, but they just do not have the goal. They do not have the items to contest this 7k goal lead that Team Flash have at their disposal.
Yeah, and even though they're sinking all the damage into Fook 1, they actually aren't able to burst him out just yet. Despite him not having any resistances, he's just stacked health. He only has his passive for those and that aftershock, but he's surviving, and it doesn't matter that you got him down to double digits. He's back to full instantly, thanks to that Warmogs. They just can't carry over the line, and this is just a 4v5 because Skewed was killed in a previous engagement, and Fook getting out just narrowly, and it doesn't matter because Eddie doesn't have his crit modifier yet. He's just got a lot of attack speed. Can't quite churn through these members of Team Flash. They don't have the damage. It's a fairly low damage composition in terms of immediate output, and they can't quite kill Fook, and they can't kill Fook fast enough.
In fairness to Team Secret, they do stop the Baron from being taken, but Team Flash are now 1.5 minutes away from a potential Ocean Soul, and you've already mentioned, Marby, how strong Yoshino would be with this soul, how strong Fook 1 is going to be, and Team Secret are already having issues getting through Flash's front line.
Yeah, we have to see where Eddie is going to go now. This third item, will he decide to just go for the Lord Dominic's, or will he go... Okay, it looks much more like he's going for these Navori Quick Blades. I like this option in a composition such as this, where you want to get the bounces across multiple targets, all clumped up together in the meatball, but it's still going to take a while to chew through this front line, which is just getting tankier and tankier, and maybe somewhere along the way you're going to need something like a Bramble Vest, especially if this Ocean Soul comes through, because Yoshino was already absolutely healing so much with the Gore Drinker. Just need a little bit of something. And
let's not forget
I don't know if the Seven Shroud's gonna make matters work for you.
Let's not forget that Skewed also has a Black Cleaver, so he's going to be able to get through some of the armor that Yoshino and Fook 1 have. Whether that's enough of an armor removal, we'll have to see. Look at Yoshino. He's trying to find a way into the back line, and in goes Yoshino. He's locked down by the Glacial Prison temporarily, but there is just no damage coming through from the side of Team Secret. Yoshino is so low, but he still survives. And now it is Jane's time to just burn through Team Secret. And Eddie will find the kill. It's a 1-for-1, and this is the fight that Team Secret need. Eddie is starting to be unleashed. Here comes the Weaver's Wall. Down goes the fish, and a double kill for Eddie, and a very very late teleport. Polymorphed is Yoshino. Fook1 and Pudding are on the run of 4v3 in favor of Team Secret, and Team Flash are running in all directions.
Yeah, you saw Flash get a little bit hyphy. The front lane felt invincible, but their damage could not join them, and so they just fall down. Now Eddie, he's got line Puddin is poking on the side, and these Fook and Yoshino are still fairly menacing as the front line. As long as Puddin stays alive, Fook's looking for it, but it's just, yeah, it's not really worth hanging around this much, and Hero can absolutely catch out Fook here. He's got a
Hero
cast
has movement
very
speed.
soon.
Fook1 is not going to be able to get away. Tries to Arctic Assault under the safety of his tower, but his tower will not defend him against 5 members of Team Secret. Team Flash, they're going to go for a 2v5. This could be, a Hail Mary and half rush. Jade is making his way over. Skewed has already fallen, but Yoshino will fall as well. Sora is now here. So is Jane. Some members of Team Secret are dangerously low, but Team Flash will not aggress any further.
So essentially a 1v1 in what was the 2v5, but just baffling. They could have called it quits at any time throughout that play. They could have just said, all right, yeah, they've got the dragon, we're going to leave. They could have said, okay, yeah, they've got Fook1 and the dragon, we're going to leave. But Yoshino said, have another, and I'm going to take Skewed on the way. And you just see here, that, again, as I said before, they just engage so far away from the rest of their team, just not on the same page. Fook1 and Yoshino wanted to fight. The rest of the team wanted to just set up for the Dragon Soul. And Zeri got to just charge up, Zeri got to pop off, and this wall cut them off and let Sora just fall down.
Jane just a little bit too aggressive on the Akali, just trying to find a hero play. Eddie and Artifact, you can see the damage they were able to output in the fight, and we're getting to that point, Marby. I just want to remind everyone the scaling aspect that Team Secret have, not in terms of their damage output, but in terms of their range. The fact that Team Flash is a very short range composition, and maybe we're getting to the point where the seesaw is starting to swing over to the side of Team Secret.
And it's only been about 12 minutes since we last checked in, and the gold has only increased about 1,000 in the last 12 minutes.
Here we go, Engager coming through. Can Team Secret win yet another fight? Weaver's Wall is going to cut Jane off from the play. Team Flash back away, as do Team Secret. No kills coming through, just summoners and ultimates being burned.
Flash has been playing really nice side lane setups with Yoshino, really good objective control, really nice objective setups, up until, about 5 minutes ago. And now they're just throwing themselves head first at Team Secret, trying to make another fight happen. And they don't need to. They need to try and catch Team Secret in a state where they're not ready for the fight, when they're uncomfortable, where they're face checking into an uncomfortable situation. Sort of like this, but Team Secret are not going to be quite as shocked.
Yoshino's been caught. Yoshino's been caught. CC chained, and Eddie gets the kill. Team Flash are going to be forced to back away from the Baron. Chain was getting ready to engage from another flank, but Team Secret, they just know that Flash are waiting on these flank angles and then just collapse on the single lone member of Flash, and now they're pushing in the mid lane.
Yeah, that Bush strategy doesn't quite work when they know exactly where you're going to be. It's very obvious. It's very mundane setup from Team Flash around this Baron. And they knew that Team Secret knew they were right there because they saw them walk into it, and it's like, okay, they're just anxious. They're getting in their own heads. They're getting way too hyphy. They need to slow down in a minute, get to this next dragon, set up the vision, set up the traps properly, and keep your tank, keep your front line in a position where they can actually fight with their carries. Jane and Puddin need to be able to join the fight instantly off the engage. And as it is, Team Secret are feeling very happy to just kite things out now. Hero is fairly tanky. He can just stand in the front line, throw a barrel, and disrupt everything. Skewed, yeah, he's getting closer and closer towards that Radiant Virtue where he's going to start feeling tanky. And Artifact and Eddie just sit too far back for Puddin and Jane to do anything if you just run head first at them.
And you can start to feel the desperation
working
for Team Flash, and it happens in any sporting event when you have a lead and you start to slowly lose that lead. There's just so much pressure that starts to weigh on you. You start to second guess every single decision you could possibly make. And Team Secret are now eyeing up their second Drake of the game. If Team Flash could get that Ocean Soul, it might be their way back into this game. I'm saying way back into the game, they still have a 4K gold lead.
Yeah, they still have a 4K gold lead. They still have positioning on this dragon. They don't need to give up. They might be in a position where they have to give up a mid lane tower for it. Yoshino's on a flank, but he's
got to be careful. He flashes in with a dominus. Juhao is forced away, tied away. Will find some knock-up. Hero still alive. One kill for Eddie. One kill for Team Flash. It's a 4v4, but look how low Jane is. Team Secret also low as well. Ultra Shock Laser will not land onto the Akali. Jane is going to be forced to reset teleport back into this fight healthily. And the Drake being started up by Team Flash. This is going to be so close, and it's going to come down to a smite fight. A ward has been placed for Jane to teleport to. Is there any way for Skewed to get into the pit? He's going to try to come from behind. The Drake already down to 3,000, but Team Secret are going to give this away, and Team Flash will find themselves with Ocean Soul.
Yeah, they've called it. Just split off, go for this mid lane tower, get the free gold, get that massive objective bounty, and set up a little bit of presence on this Baron. Now these fights are going to be a little bit harder for the side of Secret, as Flash are going to have a lot more health regen throughout these fights. That Randuin's now completed for Yoshino, so he's going to be even tankier against Eddie. It's just a little bit more advantages for Team Flash, eking them out over and over again, but the gold lead is technically shrinking. It's still only about 4K, but it's just feeling like it's slipping away despite getting an Ocean Soul. And yeah, Eddie and Artifact doing all the damage in this game.
And what a hero play from Yoshino. The Flash engaged, stun onto multiple members to get this fight started.
Yeah, but you just see how much time it takes to chunk through Hero. He's so tanky that it just buys enough time for the backline to escape in a way that makes Jane's life very difficult, makes the follow-up, and you can't clean up the fight effectively. Baron started, of course, and Hero is just so good at blocking out Fook. Can they get the follow-up fight?
Team Flash are looking for the fight. Jane coming in from the side. Juhao is so low, so is Hero as well. Team Flash will get 2 kills instantly. But Team Secret still have the Baron, and the Baron buff on 3 members of the team.
Yeah, that's 2 and a Baron buff. It's 2 traded for a Baron buff, rather, I should say. But this top lane tower is now under siege. Eddie can't really clear this one out. This should fall for Team Flash. Again, they are quite short range. They have the ability to wave clear. So 1 tower down, they can't crash any further. And it's up to Flash, to Secret rather, to regroup, regather themselves, and make the most of this Baron. They have a decent amount of standing gold on the map with objective bounties available. They can make this Baron power play huge if they play their cards right.
You know what? Hear me out here, Marby. I would have loved to see a Prowler's Claw from Yoshino. But you get where I'm coming from with this, right?
Potential, yeah, it would essentially mean you have double the assassination threat, because you have Yoshino doing the assassin Renekton, and you have Jane being an Akali, and potentially with the way Yoshino has found these flanks rather than Jane has, maybe it would have been a little bit more effective. But I think now that you have the Ocean Soul, now at this point, he's happy just being a strong frontline, and I think they need to commit Jane to side lanes more rather than the Renekton, who is a big part of their 5v5.
And you can always see on the minimap, Yoshino trying to find these flanks. He's trying to wrap his way all the way from the bottom side to the mid lane but couldn't get around as here comes Engage. But where is the rest of Team Flash? This is just a 3v5, putting in Sora are nowhere to be seen. They shot, but Yoshino is already practically dead, forced out of the fight. Look how low skewed, and Hero have gone. Team Flash will engage once more, putting finds one. A kill going the way of Team Flash, and they are wiping Team Secret. They have found the fight they have needed, and Secret will bite the dust. A quadra kill for Pudding and an ace for Team Flash.
And they have a wave set up on bot side. They can maybe crash. They'll definitely break the base. I don't know if they have enough time to end. A wave can be cleared by a barrel by Hero when he spawns very shortly. But they're going to make a crack at it. They have Fook who can just tank the towers. And definitely, I think they're going to go for the win.
I think this is game over. Team Secret will not be spawning in time. They put up a valiant fight. It looked like they were coming back, but Team Flash held strong. Team Flash found the one fight they needed, and Team Flash will take their first series win of 2023.
And that final fight looks